2017 Southland Conference Volleyball Tournament, Omni Hotel, and the first player we get to talk to, who else? We get to now add an accolade, Player of the Year, Samantha Anderson. First question I want to ask you is, where were you when you got the news? Did you get it by text? Did Coach Chapman tell you? Where was it that you realized you'd won this thing?
Actually, the Southland Conference had like a Instagram live video, and Jones had called me earlier the day and was like, "Hey, you got first team all conference. Congrats. Can you come do this interview?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So
slow played you. Told you got first team, but not player of the year.
She lied, actually. We were walking down. I was like, "So who got player of the year? Like, did one of the 6 rotation girls from SFA?" And she was like, "They haven't announced it yet." I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, they haven't announced any of the special stuff yet." I was like, "That's weird. They usually announce it all at the same time." And she was like, "Mm-hmm." And we just walked into the gym. And so they told me on Instagram Live, which was really cool. So that was, I found out Tuesday right before practice.
Awesome. I always ask that to whoever wins it. Those are great stories. Some of them have found out on social media. They log on "Oh, there's my name on." What do you think from the time that you came to UCA to now that you're most improved on? What part of your game have you feel like you've elevated the most?
Probably working with out of system balls and hitting any types of sets, just because coming in I still was very much a middle playing right side, and so it kind of changed to now being more of a right side that can still hit some middle sets as well. And so just learning how to work with my setters and read the set that I have and move my feet, which I get told all the time. Be like, "Good footwork, or move your feet in." And so that's usually the main thing. Yeah, I think that I've gotten better at.
Coach Chapman is over our shoulder, so you see all these nods over here, like, yeah, I'm supposed to do that, right? Yeah. You mentioned middle. Everybody, and we talked to her when you guys came to NACDO, just everybody in this conference knows your middle, knows your middles, but knows Megan Nash. I saw the pic of senior night and the jersey, and of course we didn't have very many seniors either. How special was that? Talk about what it's been like to play next to her, and what that night was like, having sort of all the focus just on Megan.
I mean, we love Megan, and I've gotten to play with her for 3 years now and block next to her. She and I have always gotten at least one rotation during games to block next to each other and hit with each other. Yeah, we really like it. I don't know if other teams enjoy it, but yeah, it was just so awesome to be able to honor her. And her family came down all the way from Canada, which was just so sweet. And it was just a good little bit, just because she's been there since the changeover with the new coaches and the new team, and she's kind of stuck with the program, and she's been honored a lot as well. And so it just was really awesome just to be able to have a day for her. And we truly did make that day about her, and we wanted it to be like that just because of how important she's been to all of us.
That's cool. Her dad is a trip. Her dad will come up to me all the time and be like, "Well, you should have written this. You should have said that. You should have." I mean, he keeps up. Megan Nash's dad keeps up. He's a great guy. You mentioned blocking in that next to Megan, and that is scary. I know the answer to if other teams like it, and they do not like it. But as a right side, you're oftentimes on the pin block up against the primary left that's going to attack a lot. Do you keep up with those players? I mean, you said a minute ago, you asked if one of the outsides for us had gotten honors. Are you sort of a stats person? Do you know who these other names are, or are you just sort of a tunnel vision player deal?
I mean, I know most of their names. I mean, Haley Coleman, she and I played together my 18s year, as well as one of the setters, Mac. So I know them, and when I see them, I say hi, and we give each other hugs, or we text before we have big games or something. And other girls that I've kind of played against, or I've seen across the net the past few years, we kind of get to know each other's names. And I know who I'm going up against, and sometimes Jones will be like, "We're kind of trying to get you on this girl because she's their best outside," and naturally that's kind of competitive fire, because I know that that's my number one job, is to at least channel them to our libero and stuff. So I mean, we definitely have game plans when we go out against left sides, and I know that that's another good reason that I'm out there too, because I can be offensive, but I'm also protecting EB a lot too. So it's kind of a combination of both.
You know, of course, the official lists and the honors are big. You know that just because I'm old and done this for a while, that I try and pick those lists too with a little different flavor than the conference does. And I had Samantha Anderson as my player of the year too over at the Volley Blog. And I talked to a few coaches. I will not reveal who, because I got to protect the integrity of this whole process. That and I told them, I said I might get lynched, but I'm going to pick Sam Anderson from UCA. I'm pretty sure. Did you know that you were a candidate for that award? I mean, did you at some point late in the season, did that ever come into your mind? It's like, hey, we're at the top of the conference. You know, I might win Player of the Year. I mean, not to be conceited or anything, but did it come into your head any?
Jones had mentioned it to me once or twice, but I always said kind of right back to her, I was like, nah, I think 6 rotation player will get it, just because of the stats that people get when they are in the full game versus me when I do side out. I don't even serve. So I had it in the back of my mind, but at the same time, we had bigger goals. We had team goals to get. And I mean, Player of the Year, yeah, but we're looking for a conference championship, and we're looking for a ring most of all. So it was in the back of my head, but at the same time, like, it wasn't the main driving force for the end of the season and stuff. And it was nice when I had good games that kind of helped up my stats and as well. But at the same time, it was a lot nicer when we would get wins. So,
you know, a lot's made every time UCA and SFA get together in some way about our gyms. Prince and Shelton, to me, I still think those are the two loudest places to play in the Southland. Now that you've played in all these places, what's your favorite visiting gym to go play in the Southland?
My favorite visiting gym.
Is there one that's got a certain atmosphere that you've played well in, or that you look forward to traveling to?
I mean, my favorite, yet least favorite, is SFA because of y'all's crowd. I mean, it's so awesome just because of the crowd that's there, but, you know, they're not cheering for me in particular, for us. But, yeah, SFA has such a good gym. Like, that's what you think about, that you kind of want your games to be like, too, and that's what we like to have the Prince like as well. And that's probably what it is, yeah.
When Coach and I were chatting about personnel, we talked all through your front line, and boy, one gal who really stepped up during the year is Abby Harry. I think she got a lot of people's eyes opened as she continued to play. Talk about her dimension to the team.
It was awesome to see Abby grow, because we kind of watched her from a freshman that would get in a little bit last year, but really just was kind of getting her feet wet last year to really coming into her own, especially during the preseason tournament. She really stepped up. And so it's been awesome to see her kind of confidence grow as well, and also just her learning more and more while she's out in the court, and seeing that change of how she's blocking on the outside versus how she's throwing in some beach shots, and she was on the beach team last year. So it's been so much fun to be able to play with her more consistently and see kind of how she's grown up as well, because she is kind of just growing up, and she's one of our little freshmen from last year, so she's a little baby. Just we love her.
Well, freshmen are so different, okay? So every year, I look around the league at sophomores and try and find one that I think, wow, I really want to follow this gal's career the last 2 years. And everybody knows that Blair Gillard at HBU is like one of my favorite players ever, okay? I just love Blair. And so when she was a sophomore, I kind of locked in on, I'm going to be president of Blair Gillard Fan Club. I'm going to tell you, Elizabeth Armstrong might be the next one for me. So I'm going to give you a chance to lobby for her, okay? Because after freshman year, you're like, okay, well, they need to kind of do it again. Have they, like you said, they kind of grow up. Let's watch. And boy, man, EB, every time I talk to anybody, people just rave about her. So politic a little bit. Tell me why she should be the sophomore sensation, that it should be my fave non-SFA player going forward.
Politic to you, suck up for me to my setter.
She gives you the ball, of course. I mean, you gotta feed the girl or something.
Exactly. So I mean, she and I was telling her this the other day in practice. I was like, it says something about you that you had 2 of your teammates get first team all conference, which is really which is 2 of her hitters. And so I mean, I love Evie. She and I were joking just because she and I just have kind of clicked over the past 2 years, and we can just give each other a look and just be like, okay, let's go. But she has become an offensive threat the last pretty much half of conference, and she's been working on that so much with being up front, and it's always so exciting when she gets a block because she'll turn around and she'll just go nuts, and we all do as well. But she truly commands the court, and she's on fire all the time and wants to win so badly. And I mean, sometimes it's just like she wants to win so bad we're having to tell her, like, take a breath. We've had to tell her that a couple times because she just has this fire in her that she wants to win and she wants to do well. And she's just, I mean, she's fun to be on the court with, and her just running the offense has been so cool to see, just from last year to this year, of her getting smarter and her just volleyball smarts just kind of go up as well. And so that was just super cool. And to be able to see that she got second team all conference this year was really cool too, because she really deserved it.
I think you hit on pretty much everything that I've seen from afar that you are able to see close in her. Maybe that's part of the reason why I like Blair so much, was that just that fire that she plays with. And I've seen that whoever takes the photographs for y'all on your website's gotten a couple super shots of Armstrong during the year, real energetic. Last question, and then we'll let you guys get off to practice. Confidence, demeanor of the team. What's the energy right now? You got a team that you're going to play tomorrow that has beaten you twice, and you get a third chance against. But how's the mood? How's the confidence on the ride down here?
We're fired up. We're so excited. I was saying, I don't remember how I was saying this to you, but it felt like Saturday after the game, we're all just like, let's just play now. Let's go. We have to wait 6 more days to play again. And we're excited. We had a great practice yesterday. People were just throwing their bodies everywhere. It was super fun to play. And so we're ready to go. I'm excited. This is my first Southland Conference tournament that we haven't been at home, so it's a new dynamic. But also we've had some great preseason tournaments that are kind of the same idea of a neutral location, and we're just pumped. We're super excited. I don't think there's many nerves. I just think everyone's just kind of coming in here ready to go. So.
Well, they will go at 4:00 tomorrow, 2 seed against 7 seed McNeese. We'll have it on Southland Conference Digital Network for you. Make sure and tune in. Sam, as always, Sam Anderson, not done. No matter what happens in this tournament, we'll be back next year, senior year at UCA. As always, pleasure to chat with you so much, and thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.